Hello there, my name's B. It's short for Beatrice and my surname is Haeving, so I guess you can call me Miss B Haeving. Now, I'd really like to tell you a very funny story about a young magician I happened to bump into on a Saturday night out with the girls. My story begins in the early hours of Sunday morning in the last bar me and my friends go into. We bump into this magician. He said his name was Rod McCrack. He insisted that his name was spelt with 2 D's. And I thought, how odd, Rod with 2 D's. What kind of hogwash is that? But then I thought again and I realised that actually he wouldn't be the first man to be a fan of double D's now, would he? He also said that he was the Scottish equivalent of Dynamo. And I thought to myself, wouldn't it be incredible if Dynamo in England joined forces with this Rod character from Scotland and made a double act? I was thinking, just how much shit could they make disappear between them? And they could call their act Dino Rod. Anyway, he did look very cute in his kilt. He showed us lots of tricks. He turned paper into money. He turned money into paper. I think I prefer the second one best though. And then he told me to get a couple of coins out of my purse and write my name on them. So I did. He got the coins and he put them in my hand. He closed my hand over the coins. And when I opened them again, my 10p was completely bent, which was really impressive because I have a theory on how he did that. I reckon he just put one coin in my hand and the other he slipped into his pocket and then bent it round something really hard in his trousers, which is very impressive because it must have been really, really hard. Anyway, we were really blown away by all his tricks. We begged him and begged him to show us a trick that we could do. He was very reluctant, but in the end he said if we didn't divulge any of the magician's secrets, he would show us a trick. But if we ever gave away the magician's secrets, we would pay a heavy price. We agreed. So he showed us a few tricks and showed us how he did them. He did one trick and he said, now that is a false deal. He did another trick and he said, now that is a bottom shuffle. Then he did a third trick, looked at me, smiled and said, one ahead? And I went, oh yes, please. But then I was really embarrassed because I realised that it was a magician's technique, the one ahead method, and he wasn't actually asking me if I wanted head. And I was so embarrassed, I did my own little bottom shuffle out of there, I can tell you. But that's not the end of my tale. We were so impressed by this magician, we decided to go along to see one of his shows. We were a bit late. And we were a bit merry as well. So there's this Rod character doing all his tricks and there's me shouting out. He did one trick and I'm going, that's a false shuffle. Then he did another trick and I'm going, that's a bottom deal. Then he did another trick and I said, he's using the one ahead method. That one stuck in my mind for some reason, I don't know why, but it did. Anyway, this Rod character, he didn't lose his cool, he just smiles. He takes a little break, he comes over to me and he said, listen B, I'm a bit disappointed in you giving away all those secrets. He said, but I'll forgive you if you stop now. He said, if you do that, I'm going to buy you as many beers as you can drink, and at the end of my show, I am going to show you the best trick you've ever seen. And I said, yes, okay. So I drank and I drank and I drank. And at the end of the show, he came over to me and he said, right B, are you ready for a piece of magic that will amaze and astound you? And I was up for that, definitely. So he led me to this little room. It only had a table in it, like this one. He told me to stand against the table. He took his jacket and his shirt off to make sure that he wasn't hiding anything up his sleeves. Then he stood right behind me. He told me to bend over a little bit, so I did. He then said to me, "Hootsman, can you feel me thumb in your clack?" And I had to admit, even though I'd been drinking rather a lot, I could definitely feel that. Yeah, I could feel that. He then stuck his arms up either side, pushed his thumbs forward and wiggled them either side of my face. And he said, "Och, aye, now that's magic." And that, my friends, is the tale of Rod McCrack. Maybe Scotland's answer to dynamo. But all I can say is, eat your heart out, Magic Mike. And I'm buggered if I know how he did that trick. Anyway, I'm Miss B Haeving, and I'm looking forward to telling you more of my amusing stories very soon. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.